funny story? Sure. House show, Garden, full weight, Dudley's, Acolytes, Edge and Christian, Hardys. Hardys, Edge and Christian eliminated. Edge and Christian eliminated. Acolytes getting heat on the Dudleys. Getting heat on Devon, right? Beating them down. The people are ready for that fucking hot tag. Bubba's gonna come in and clean house. Woohoo, plays rocking and rolling. Devon tags me, here comes Bubba. Trips right over the second rope. Tripped right on my face in front of 20,000 people. I didn't know what to do. I get up, I double leg Bradshaw, I started punching him in the face. He's laughing and crying because I'm hitting him so hard. He's like, relax, it's not my fault. You tripped. We get back to the locker room. Ron is trying to console me. Ron said, come on, man, it's not that bad, kid. Don't worry about it. It's not like any of your family around there. I said, Ron, my mom, my dad, 20 of my fraternity brothers, and my fiance. Ron said, shit, that's bad.
I think this is fake.
You can't say that. I can say that.
Wrestling's not fake!
It's still real to me, damn it!
The unscripted, uncensored, loose cannon of commentary. This ain't WCW. This ain't Monday Night Raw. This ain't SmackDown. This ain't even WWE.
Do I have everybody's attention now?
The recognized symbol of excellence in sports entertainment.
You're listening to Marks on Commentary.
You're listening to Marks on Commentary. I'm Eddie Brophy.
I'm Jason Smith.
Now, unless the next words out of your mouth are not about Justin Bieber, I do not give a shit about this show tonight.
You didn't see our tweet? The rumor going around is what he was listening to before he got arrested?
Oh, what was he listening? Was he listening to us?
He was listening to us.
That's not even true. I feel like a split second I actually wanted to believe that.
We'd have much bigger numbers.
Well, because then I feel like we're actually doing some good to society. We're abating in Justin Bieber's apprehension.
God damn it! What the fuck is wrong with people? Really? Like,
well, Jason wants to vent.
No, it's not even that. But that goes into it. Like, all right, yeah, I was venting about some stupid twat yelling at me and my post about telling WWE that Dave Bautista isn't the one to win the Rumble, and fucking she comes back and saying, oh, blah, 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 you wouldn't understand why I like Dave Bautista, and it's only special to me and my friends, and most people wouldn't understand, and it's just like, you don't have some magical connection with this guy. I'm sorry. So, same with fucking Justin Bieber fans. You don't need to be fucking cutting your wrist because the guy's in prison.
What makes me angry is that when Jason, the preface to this conversation was, I had a conversation with a fangirl. I kind of assumed that the fangirl would be in regard to one of us. So I was kind of hoping that this conversation would lead to the girl got in an argument with Jason over, well, you don't understand Eddie like I understand him. I was really let down by that. I'm going to be honest with you.
I'm sorry. Next time. We'll find... If there's any ladies out there that wants to be Eddie's fangirls, please submit to our P.O. box.
I'm expecting my girlfriend to respond. She did have a request tonight that she wanted me to address the Justin Bieber fiasco in the Ultimate Warrior voice.
Oh, please do.
Which is amazing because she doesn't even know what Ultimate Warrior sounds like.
That would be amazing. Please do.
Justin Bieber. That's all I got.
Oh, man.
I'll work on it as the show goes on.
That's got to be out there somewhere. I hope he does a shoot on it.
Now, as we both know, the Rumble takes place this Sunday.
Yes.
Which, of course, Jason on our little itinerary here has the match card, which is always helpful because usually I lose track of these things. He has in parentheses rumored AJ Lee versus Naomi, so I didn't even know that was even going to happen. The main one I want to focus on here, because I was a little confused on Raw, was Daniel Bryan and Bray Wyatt. Now, he said that the other two members of the Wyatt family were in the Rumble, which leaves him and Bray on their own. Was he hinting at the fact that they're not in the Rumble? I got kind of confused by that.
I went on WWE.com, and to me, that's the law of what's going to happen. And right now, I'm considering him not a part of the Rumble. because ILC would have said, and I'm going to win the Rumble that night.
That confuses me because why wouldn't Daniel Bryan be in the Royal Rumble?
Because he'd steal the thunder, and it would make him look weaker if he didn't win the Rumble, if they weren't planning on making him win the Rumble. And they're not.
That we can almost jump the gun here and say that either... I'll just go ahead and say I think Batista's winning.
Yeah. This is how I'll break it down. I was thinking this on the way home today. I give Batista 80% chance that he's winning the Rumble. The other 15% goes to Bryan. If he's even in the Rumble, he's got a chance. He's got that much of a chance to win it. So if he's in the Rumble, I think he's got a better chance than Batista to win. I don't know if that mathematically makes sense. And then 5% to Punk, just because there's that vague hint, but I really don't think it's there.
If anything regarding Punk, especially where your prediction did come to fruition, where Punk is entering at number 1,
yep.
And they did kind of like tease it, like, well, there have been 2, and I do love that they said there were 2 stars that entered at number 1 and won the Rumble. Guess who the one was that they would not?
Oh,
he does not be named.
We know.
Yeah, the Jason sign, we know. That pretty much sums it up for me. Benoit.
Don't say it. Don't look in a mirror and say Benoit 3 times.
It's like candy, man. Just turn around 3 times, say Benoit. And your family will be murdered with Bibles under them.
Oh shit! Don't take it to that way.
Now you can see why Catherine wanted to leave the show.
Yep. We just lost every listener we had.
We have listeners?
We had them. Actually, this week I was surprised. Thank you, audience, because we had like about 300, probably 300 listeners for the last episode. So,
well, you got to think of it this way, Jason. If nothing else, if they listen to the show, it's probably out of morbid curiosity.
These guys are still talking.
My God, how many episodes is this now? They haven't quit. Well, we're actually edging on a year now.
We
next
are.
Means we've been doing this for exactly a year.
Exactly. That's pretty cool. We're getting there.
Now, going through this match card again. So the Daniel Bryan Bray Wyatt match, are you excited for it? Is there any remote investment on your part in this match?
If it's the end of the feud, I think Bryan needs to walk away with a strong victory, because he's had a lot of fuck finishes the past few months.
Well, how strong of a victory can you walk away with if you're not even in the Rumble?
I don't know. Like, in my mind, I'm vaguely... Like, I'd set it up on Twitter where it was like, imagine if Batista cleared the ring of the 28 other opponents, and there's one guy left coming out, and it's Daniel Bryan.
I mean, you can't rule that out. I mean...
It's possible, but it's like, imagine the crowd reaction you'd get.
Well, here's the thing. Could that have been a work in which Daniel Bryan kind of leads us all to believe that he's not going to be in the Rumble?
Exactly.
That's the thing. They posted a list of names, but every Rumble that they do that, it's always a very short list. So, like, Batista's in, Del Rio's in, Punk's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the Rhodes brothers are in. Like, and of course, they're going to have their tag team championship match against the Outlaws, which, personally, I think it's bullshit that that's not on the card.
Yeah.
How is that not opening the show?
I don't know. And that's the other thing, is looking at the show, it feels like it should be a bigger show, just by looking at, you've got Brock and you've got Big Show, you've got Cena and Orton, like, they're big marquee matches. Like, there's no real weak match, or at least perception wise, but they don't feel like, wow, I really need to see that.
Well, this is another thing we can work around. Now, for me, the top guy to come out of the Rumble with the title is going to be Orton.
Yeah.
I don't see if Cena wins the title, I don't know. I think I would be really let down, because if you're gonna like tease the whole dissension in the Authority, where I don't think they're teasing like a face turn with Orton as much as there's gonna be an eventual Batista Orton showdown.
Mm-hmm.
The thing that I'm thinking though is that, so you have Batista win the Rumble, you have Orton come out as champ, so that's your lock for WrestleMania. But then you have Elimination Chamber.
Mm-hmm.
Which now here's another possibility. So Batista wins the Rumble. He's your number one contender. He doesn't have to compete. Now we're in our first Elimination Chamber where it's not split into two. You have one definitive title.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this a little while ago. Potential now, typically with the Elimination Chamber, if I'm not wrong, that's 7 guys because you have the 2 that start and then you have the 4 in the pods, correct?
That makes 6.
6. I'm bad at math.
It's all good.
You carry the 1. So if Orton walks in as champ,
Yeah.
and he beats Cena, so you have Orton, Cena. Those are your 2 in the chamber already. Then you have 3 more guys. You got Brock, who wants the title, and he's teased it. He's the self-proclaimed number 1 contender. And then you can have Daniel Bryan and CM Punk. Yeah. Already, if those are your locks for the Elimination Chamber, you have one of the greatest Elimination Chambers since the very first one of Survivor Series.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
That would be very cool, but I have a feeling that the Elimination Chamber isn't gonna even remotely involve anything to do with the title picture.
You think so? Well, if that's the case, then what's the Elimination Chamber? Would it be for the Rumble?
Nope. I think it's gonna end up being for the unified U.S. and IC title. That's why I think they're running to do that.
Oh, that's a nice curveball. I didn't even think about that.
I think they were like, "Fuck, we don't have anything for that match. What can we do? Well, let's put the 2 secondary titles up, and that's it."
See, I was thinking this whole time that if the Elimination Chamber, since this is the first year where it's like, shit, we only have one Elimination Chamber, but could a unified title, can you see that headlining?
I don't know about headlining, but it could be your pre-main event with, I don't know, you could have Brock and whoever, because Brock's getting a title shot because they made that abundantly clear.
Right.
It's just, is it going to be Orton, which feels very weird and awkward? Maybe you throw Cena in some type of triple threat, but then you're also making Brock work a lot before WrestleMania, which athletically, yeah, he can do, but I don't know, is he under contract for that many? Are they thinking a 3-way? I don't know.
Kaufman had actually posted, and I can't remember now if Elimination Chamber was on there, like the actual dates that Brock and Batista are both scheduled. Batista's scheduled like well through the year.
Yeah.
Like Batista's not going to be a part-timer. That guy's going to be doing house shows. He's going to be doing pay-per-views, Monday Night Raw, SmackDowns. Like he's definitely. Mm-hmm. Which again leads me to believe that that's your lock for the Royal Rumble winner, and then if he goes to WrestleMania, he's coming out with the title. Is my overall outlook.
Yeah. I
mean, it kind of sucks because then you can pretty much predict, the next couple of months. Which that's the thing I hate with WWE is. It's almost like, I don't know, people will probably call me out on this, be like, well, that doesn't necessarily mean that's true, but typically when you know someone who just returned is scheduled for X amount of dates, you can almost kind of predict where they're going to be booked on those dates. Because I can't see Batista coming back and saying, I'm coming back for the title and not win the title. It's almost like The Rock. Like when you knew The Rock was going to wrestle CM Punk, you knew he was going to win the title.
Oh, yeah. But it's like, I don't know. Like I feel like last year was so predictable that we're owed like a curveball, like a big curveball that we didn't see coming. And
I think that curveball is Daniel Bryan.
Exactly, and that's what I mean. Where it's just like, I don't loathe the idea of Batista winning the Rumble, but I don't love it as much as the idea of Daniel Bryan winning it.
Right.
So I'm hoping against hope that they're like recognizing, hey, the audience, they did a really good job of building him up, 2 weeks ago.
Well, who was that? Vince McMahon's actually behind Bryan. Like he's becoming more and more as the merchandising sells and he gets the pops in the arena. I think it sounds like Vince is becoming a Daniel Bryan guy.
Exactly. And that's the weird thing where it's just like, if Bryan isn't in the title picture at WrestleMania, does he really fit into anything else? Because the other alternative was him and Triple H, and it seems like that's going to Punk. So where else on the card do you fit him?
I mean, we talked about this before, the only other place I see Bryan going is the fact that Undertaker wants him at WrestleMania.
Yeah. But then you also leave so many other questions where it's like, it feels like you have I don't know, like a what do they call it? A third wheel on a date, where it's like somebody's gonna be left without a dance partner. Where it's like you have Brock, you have Undertaker, you have Bryan. Okay, somebody's getting paired up here, and somebody's getting left out.
Well, this is the question I would ask you as a wrestling fan. This WrestleMania versus last year. Last year, it felt like kind of a drought in talent,
Mm-hmm.
whereas this year it almost feels like an overabundance of talent.
Yeah.
Like when you added Batista to the mix, that almost felt like, oh man, there's too many cooks in the kitchen. You got way too many main eventers now because they didn't anticipate that Bryan was going to be at the caliber he's at. I think they just kind of assumed Punk was going to fizzle out, and Punk's still a hot commodity. Not to mention that it's rumored that this is Punk's last year. When his contract's up, it's up.
Exactly.
He's done. Which kind of makes me want to beg to ask a question like, what are you going to do with Punk? Like, if he's not headlining WrestleMania and he decides to end his career in Chicago at Payback, which was announced today that Payback for the second year will be at Chicago,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what does that do for Punk?
I don't know. It's weird. It's like they don't want to acknowledge that, these guys are over, and the guys you want us to love aren't really over. I mean, stop jamming Big Show down our throats. It's not working.
Mm-hmm.
Give us what we want.
Well, I mean, in terms of this tag team championship match, I feel like that is what we want.
It's what me and you want, but is it the whole culture of WWE wants?
That's a good question because, frankly, I thought Billy Gunn looked like shit in Magic Punk.
Yeah, he's up there.
Have you noticed that though? Like Road Dogg, I feel like still has the ability to go. It kills me because Billy Gunn for me back in '99 when he won the King of the Ring was a really good contender for the WWF Championship.
Mm-hmm.
He's not looking so good right now.
Yeah, I'm sure he's trying to kick a lot of old habits and get himself clean and stuff like that. So
I don't mean physically, I just mean in the ring. Like, have you noticed his ring technique? Like, it's not as fluid as it used to be. Like, yeah. I remember Billy Gunn when I first tuned into the Attitude Era, and it was just like, it was seamless. It was almost like Ziggler.
That's true. I mean, it's probably partly cardio, too, where it's when we saw him, he was, 5-6 years straight, and, he hasn't been doing that in recent years. He'll be lucky to get in, I don't know, 20 matches. I'm sure he does independent dates and stuff like that too, but I don't know. I just imagine the physical toll day to day isn't the same.
No,
and plus he's older.
What are your thoughts on them over the Rhodes brothers?
I'm fine with it. I think I don't know. Like I would like part of me wants to see the one more run of the Outlaws. I wish they were face at the time, but I'll take it any way I can get it. But and if it catapults towards the Goldust Cody Rhodes, feud, you can have the rematch at the next pay-per-view for the titles and end up losing again, and then go into WrestleMania and you have Goldust versus Cody.
What's funny is I remember on this show we were such big Kane and Daniel Bryan fans, but we were also advocates for splitting them up.
Mm-hmm.
And it was almost like really bittersweet because we knew as soon as they split up, Kane was going to kind of be on backswing,
yeah,
whereas Daniel Bryan was going to flourish. I kind of feel like in terms of Cody and Goldust, like I'm almost afraid to see them break up because Goldust in ring, and this is the thing is like Goldust is around the same age as Billy Gunn,
mm-hmm.
and he has the advantage. Like he is so much more evolved character-wise and athletically now. And I cannot stress that enough. Like, Goldust looks phenomenal now.
Yeah.
Like, just his look, his in-ring ability, his promos, everything. It's just like the stars aligned and that guy's on. Like, Dustin Rhodes is just, he's got his shit together. Like, he knows what he's doing, and he's in the prime of his life. And I just kind of feel like it's bittersweet because as soon as they have that feud, maybe they'll be able to stretch it out 2 or 3 pay-per-views, but as soon as it's over, so is Goldust.
Yeah, but he's talked about that for years too, where hey, I just want the Intercontinental title match with Cody at WrestleMania 28, title versus career, and he's talked about wrapping it up for a while. So if he can go out putting his brother over, that's awesome. That's more than most people get a chance to do.
I'll give you that. I just, it's sad to see guys from our era who are actually much better than they were in our era, and then have to accept that. Like, of course, it's like the death rattle. Like, it's coming, it's almost over, and it's like it has to be at that point where, oh man, I'm becoming a Goldust fan all over again, and I know it's almost over.
Yeah.
It's not like when Mick Foley came back, because Mick Foley, he just had a lot of ring rust, and you knew that like his body just couldn't hold out, so you knew it was almost over.
Yeah.
But with Goldust, it's just like he never got to that point. He never got to that WWE contendership point where it was like, and you know what? Like, I never saw him being like the face of the company or a potential title holder. But the fact that he didn't even get to that point, aside from Survivor Series in '98 in the tournament, the fact where he could never get to the point where he could at least main event, like, oh, that kills me.
Yeah. I mean, he's a good hand. That's the thing, where he has, not every single tool, but he has a lot of them and a lot of the cool ones. But to put the pieces together to be that guy, he just doesn't have.
I think what bugs me more, he's been so loyal to that company.
Yeah.
Despite all the obstacles has had thrown in his way. He's literally, anytime they've like picked up the phone, be like, call Dustin Rhodes. Hey, we want you at Raw. Can you do it? Oh, absolutely. I'm gonna be there. Like, he's been so loyal. Just give him, like, it's like Mark Henry. Like, he's such a good worker. And even Mark Henry's style in the ring progressed so much when he held the World Heavyweight Championship. And it's just like, you get so mad because you're just like, he progressed, like, he got better. Like, and his look evolved just as much as his ability did. I don't know, it's just kind of heartbreaking, but I think that's the only reason I don't want to see the Outlaws get the title, is because I know it's the death knell for the Rhodes brothers.
Yeah, but it's also possibly the chance for that really intense, creepiest Goldust character to come back and, claw on his brother, and I think that'd be cool. Going in, Goldust used to cut amazing promos back in the day, like shit that was just fucking creepy. I'd love to see that again.
You know what? And I actually still like the Six character.
The 2 times it appeared.
I thought, it was fine. It was a 7.
What's that?
The character name. It was 6, right? Or was it 7?
I think it was 7. Yeah.
I think it was 7 too. Yeah. It's just that but he's a great character actor in the ring.
Yeah. Definitely.
Oh, I'm gonna miss him. Like, I was bummed out when he did the whole, like, he got electrocuted and had Tourette's angle. It was so stupid, but like, he sold it so. And then,
oh yeah, anybody else it'd be Eugene, but him, he makes it amazing. Where it's just like, this is fucking hysterical.
Again, the whole build up to him being a tag team partner with Booker T was flawless.
Yeah,
I loved it so much. It was so good. Like, I just remember the one promo where Booker T's in bed with his wife, and then the lights go out, it's pitch black here. Goldust, and you just lean over and see Booker T freak out, and Goldust just laying in bed with the two of them. Oh man, I love that character so much. Like, that's, oh, I'm sorry, I just had like a mark out moment. Like, I love that character.
We all do.
That's like, literally one of my favorite characters.
What else is on this card? Go back and look.
Well, of course, you guys. So the Outlaws, I think, are going to take it. Brock Lesnar, Big Show.
Not really into it. I think it's kind of a waste of, one of Brock's few matches he does a year.
I hate the big guy matches, personally.
Yeah, there's very few of them that are pulled off right, and it's just like, Big Show doesn't do it for me anymore. It's like, Big Show to me has go away heat, where it's like, you need to go away for 2 years and like, let us miss you for a while, because he's just stale.
Would you miss Big Show if he left?
You know, when he came back and, knocked out, what was his name? Floyd Mayweather, I thought that was pretty interesting. And it was like, wow, we haven't seen Big Show in 2 years. Hey, this is kind of cool. I miss having him around, that guy, but I don't know. Maybe. It depends how they use him. And it's just, they haven't used him in the right capacity.
Because I remember when that happened, like, I was like, when he showed up in No Way Out, when they were teasing the Floyd Mayweather match at WrestleMania, still didn't do it for me.
Yeah.
It still didn't do anything for me.
I don't know. I don't know. Just the idea of, like, you have Brock, you're paying him $1 million and he's wrestling the Big Show, who, I don't know, was stale at the Survivor Series main event, and now
God, oh my God, that was the worst match I've ever seen.
it was dead. I don't know why they think that he's over, because he's not. Anybody else would have been better in there.
Well, that's the thing too, is I kept thinking to myself, like, during the whole Wyatt family versus Punk and Daniel Bryan, don't get me wrong, like, the match was decent. The Wyatt family music got a louder ovation than the match.
Yeah.
And as soon as it became, Orton and Big Show, we were there, man. It was dead. Like, the stuff that people didn't see on the air when Cena came out and teased the unification of the titles, that got a bigger pop than the entire show did.
Yep.
That got a bigger pop than Bret Hart, Mick Foley, and Booker T at the pre-show table. Like, it didn't do it for me.
All right, what else? Is that it for the single? Oh, WWE title match. I'm not really. I don't know. I don't know. I don't think Cena walks away with the title. Actually, I want to talk about. Did you see Raw at all?
I did.
Yeah, I did not get that one bit. You had a 3-hour build-up to watch a camera in the background, wait for Cena to run in and Orton to run out of the building. That was it. Like, to me, Batista should have been in Cena's position, and Cena should have been in Batista's position that night.
You know it didn't work. I'm gonna lay it out for you. It's 2014. The music wasn't playing. You know the music. The third being, Cena is not Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Yeah.
If that had been differently, if that had been 1999, we're waiting for Stone Cold Steve Austin, and Stone Cold came out and stunned a bunch of people, and the guy he was after ran out of the ring, that would have been the perfect ending to Raw. Why? Because he was Steve Austin. Don't sit there and say that didn't happen in our generation, because that did.
No, it did, but I was just like, okay, we're waiting on Cena, and he walks up this, like, long parking lot driveway, and it's the most boring shot you can ever do, and he's just kind of walking like tough man, and it takes like 5 minutes for him to get out to the ring. It killed any energy it had.
You know why it doesn't work? Because we're 26, 27-year-old men. It's not 1999, and Cena's not Austin. That used to work for Austin if Austin, like, every pay-per-view, earlier today, at the corner of the screen, in Austin, whatever music was playing, and the crowd used to lose their shit.
Yep.
Cena is not Austin. Because he doesn't have the intensity Austin had. When Austin came to a ring, he came in an ostentatious way where he'd come up in the monster truck, or the pickup truck, or the fucking, the Zamboni or whatever. It wasn't just that we have a camera on waiting for so-and-so to show up. He showed up and then some.
Yeah.
Cena didn't, he just showed up on his own.
This feud feels very flat, and I'm pretty grateful that this will probably be the last one for a really long time now.
It's not. It's John Cena as the undisputed WWE World Heavyweight Champ, whatever, and CM Punk.
Mm-hmm.
I could watch those two. It was the same reason I could watch Triple H and The Rock have a fucking hour-long Iron Man match. Those are the most tedious matches in the world, unless you get the right guys.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like, why have we not had that with Cena and Punk?
Timing.
Yeah.
Punk is too over to be heel, because he does it well, but it's just the crowd immediately absorbs him, and that's our guy. We don't care if he's face heel. I'm like that. I don't care if he's face heel. He's a face in my eyes, so you can kick whose ever ass you want.
Yeah.
But
well, and moving along here, so we know CM Punk is number 1. Who's gonna be number 2?
I don't know.
It's either gonna be someone really stupid or it's gonna be something really epic.
Yeah, it'll probably be like the Shield, like one by one.
Yeah. Now, do you see him getting an early elimination, or do you see it being like Punk makes it to the end and he gets screwed over by Triple H?
Exactly. I think he's going to go the distance because they don't have enough star power in the Rumble to make it last that long. So Punk will be the guy that goes the distance and gets fucked over at the last, the third guy to go out.
Right.
I don't know. Are you expecting any major returns in the Rumble?
Prior to I think Sheamus is going to be one, to be honest.
Yeah, I think everybody's like, oh, Sheamus Rumble. Yeah, it makes sense. 6 months, however long it's been. But
I already forgot about it. The only time Sheamus came up tonight, I'll be honest with you, the only time Sheamus came up tonight is I was driving to my parents' house with Nina. And you know what? The first thing I said was, my nephew's birthday was Wednesday. I could get him that Sheamus action figure he wanted when I go to his birthday party. That was the only time Sheamus came up in my mind. Was he really wants the Sheamus action figure? Other than that, completely forgot about him.
yeah. Now, do you want heel Sheamus or face Sheamus?
At this point, does it even matter?
I think just in terms of making him interesting again.
Okay,
And
that's the only way you can make Sheamus interesting, right? 2 surprise entrants. One of them's not Warrior, and the other one is obviously not Batista. Sheamus comes back, dominates. Punk, number 1, has been going. He goes right for Punk. Lights go out. Dong. Undertaker comes out. Eliminates Sheamus. That is literally the only thing that can make Sheamus interesting, is the fact that Sheamus has been very vocal that he wants the Undertaker.
yeah. I don't know. I don't think that's on the level of what they've been doing with Taker the last 5 years, though.
I don't think it is, but the only way to put Sheamus in that Rumble and have him eliminated is to set him up for something that's already been predetermined for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
That's my prediction, at least. I'm not saying... Here's the thing, if you're listening, that's not a prediction I like. That's a WWE writer prediction.
That's true. You can't think of what you want, because what we want is Daniel Bryan winning, and that's probably likely not happening.
What I want is Daniel Bryan wins, but the 2 surprise entrants, one is one I don't give a shit about, and that's Sheamus. The other is Jake the Snake. Jake the Snake comes out and eliminates Dean Ambrose. That would be like a holy fuck. Like, he's going in the... Not even like he's going to WrestleMania. He's going in the Hall of Fame. Because if a surprise entrant is either Warrior or Jake the Snake, you already know Warrior's in, but if Jake the Snake shows up, you know he's in.
Yeah.
And I mean, there was a thing where he did a radio interview, and they asked him if he knew if he's going to the Hall of Fame, which, again, when they asked him if he's going on Raw, well, I haven't heard anything yet. And he made a comment like, I guess they're only inducting assholes this year. But if you read his WWE.com interview, he was really high on the Warrior going in.
Yeah.
So where's Jake's head at? Like, is he trying to play the role of like, yeah, fuck the Warrior. Why would they pick him over me? That's the only thing with certain superstars. They're really bad at promos. They're really bad at trying to surprise you.
Yeah.
Jericho was great at it. That's the only thing. I don't see Jericho going in the Rumble, because you can't get lightning in a bottle twice. Last year was perfect for Jericho.
Unexpected, number 2, didn't see it.
But even when he was coming back as, the whole ominous promo with the little girl and stuff, when the person had him pictured in the airport, he was photoshopping him like, yeah, here's Jericho at the Gettysburg Address. Here's Jericho at the... Like, he still had a way about him where it was like, all right, it's obvious, but let me Photoshop, really badly, mind you, myself at other historical events. But I mean, I don't know, like, it would just be cool to just, like, for continuity's sake, continuity.
We're not giving anything away.
We have nothing to give away, unless you want to cigarette butts out of my ass. But continuity-wise, it would be cool to see Jake the Snake come back and take out Ambrose.
I don't think he has what it takes physically right at this point to do that, because he didn't even do the DDT on that old school Raw. So
I think that's what made me so depressed about reading that interview with him, was that he got such a high out of going out there. But it's like, all right, there's a difference between making a cameo appearance to a pop and actually getting a pop wrestling. Like, would he get the "you still got a chance" at Road Dogg? Because Road Dogg can still go, unlike his counterpart. And I'm not saying this to be me. Like, I love Billy Gunn. I've been very vocal about how much I fucking love Billy Gunn on the show. Road Dogg, out of the two, can still go. Like, if Road Dogg wanted to go against Big E Langston, I would think that would still be a good match. Because Road Dogg can still go. If Billy Gunn wanted that match, it wouldn't go over as well.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm confused, Jason. I'm confused about this WrestleMania because unlike last year, we can't predict it.
We can't. I don't know. The things you feel like you can predict, you hate, but you really can't ultimately predict it. You know what I mean? Like, I don't love the idea of Batista winning. I don't know.
All right. If I was still producing the show, I would totally add in the sound effects and like predictions. I think Sheamus is coming back, but the only way I see Sheamus coming back and done right is if Taker eliminates him. And that sets up him and Taker. The other prediction is Daniel Bryan being the wild card entry. I mean, I don't know about you in terms of like, you have two, Jason, two. Pull them out of your ass. I don't care where they come from. Two surprise entrants. What are your picks?
Like I said last week, I think X-Pac might make an appearance. I know there's rumblings of Evan Bourne, who's been gone for like 2-3 years now, it feels like.
So I love Evan Bourne, but I will be pissed if him and Sheamus are the surprise entrants.
I just don't feel like we're getting anything crazy. Like, and that's the other thing. It's very weird. Like, I remember last year it was like, oh, Godfather, he's going to be in the Rumble, and that was 2-3 weeks out. It's like we've heard nothing about surprise entrants.
All right, here's the thing: 978-276-9418. I'm not asking you what will happen. I'm asking you as a fan, just as a fucking fan. What would? All right, because I'll tell you after, but like, get out of your seat, drop your drink, pee your pants. Holy fuck, mark out, surprise Royal Rumble entry for me. And this is like, again, it's not going to happen. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I'm not even predicting this. I'm just saying, in terms of that question, again, 978-276-9418 at MO commentary. You know, and I'm bad with sound effects like Punk comes out, he's number one. And he's standing in the ring, and he's doing this little fucking, you know, he clasps his fingers and he wiggles his wrist thing. Who's number two? That literally would make me, like, pee my pants. Like, oh my God! Like, holy fuck! Yes! Like, you're not going to get that, but if you could, who would it be?
All right, I'll go more reasonable. Is somebody like Sting, who's rumored to be...
Oh, that's a good one. I
think that makes the show, because they're already talking like this is the year that he comes in. He's wrapping up, as we speak, his contractual obligation to TNA right now. So, why not have him appear at Rumble?
If you could take out my shitty sound effects, it's too much work, so you won't. But if you'd actually put in theme songs for where I'm like, oh yeah. When I read about Sting, all I kept thinking was like, oh my God. You know, if Sting were to be one of the surprise entrants, again, lights out. Boom. Yeah, that's my dong. Boom. It's terrible. But Undertaker, Sting. That next to Lesnar and Taker, Sting and Taker.
Yeah. That's cool, but I almost feel like that's setting up Sting to suck. Like, I almost want to put Sting in there with like somebody like Triple H at his first WrestleMania. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it's like, all right, Sting, we're bringing you in all this big hype, and you're gonna be just like Big Papa Pump, and you're gonna come in here and you're gonna lose to our top guy. What?
Yeah, no, that's a good call. Good call.
I don't know. Just to me, it's like, let's kill anything that you remotely thought you knew about this guy. It's like, all right, let's take a year. Let's build up Sting where he's our guy now, and put, the WWE production power behind him, and make him what he should have been in 2002, 2003. You know what I mean? Like the guy that should have come over when he had the chance and didn't.
Yeah.
But
Now that's the thing too. If Sting, now, funny enough, it's the Hall of Fame. Sting's rumored to go to WWE.
Yep.
And WWE wants to. Fuck you. It's a known fact. WWE wants to induct Sting.
Mm-hmm.
He was a WCW guy his entire career, but that it's a marquee name.
Yep.
They want Sting in the Hall of Fame.
I hope so.
I hope so. I was thinking the same thing. Like, granted, he's been a born and bred WCW guy, but he's still a name. Like, he was still part of the Monday Night Wars.
An S.
Yeah. He was part of the Monday Night War. Like, he was a top, despite the fact that it ripped off his gimmick from Brandon the Crow. I can let it go. I can let it go. But, I mean, when we went to see TNA Live, I kept nudging Jason saying, this guy can still go.
Yeah. Even in a t-shirt, he was the most entertaining thing of that night.
Which, all right, arguably isn't saying much about the product of TNA, but the fact was, I've never seen Sting live in my entire life. To be able, it's like, it's going to sound stupid, but like, I saw the White Stripes play the same arena. And a few weeks later, they broke up. And I looked at my buddy and I was just like, you know what, dude? We saw one of the last shows from the White Stripes. Not like a huge name, not like even close, even remotely close to half the bands to make a TD Garden, Rolling Stones, whatever. But it was still kind of cool to have that bragging right. Like, I saw them when.
Mm-hmm. For
me, it was like, even if Sting is well past his prime, and it was in TNA, and it was a TNA main event, I still got to see Sting.
Yeah.
Who clearly had way more production value than anyone on that roster. So much I was like, wow, he's got like the only good theme song at this TNA.
But just imagine, like, him popping up in the Rumble. Like, that would be an oh shit moment.
Now, is that what the Rumble's for, though? Because personally, if you ask me, the Rumble is nothing without its oh shit moments.
It needs it. I think yeah, exactly. The past few years, it's been like, hey, let's put the oh shit moment in here and go. And yeah, without it. And they've mentioned, I watched like WWE Inbox or something where they were talking about, greatest Rumbles. And they already said, who's the surprise entrance? Who do you want to see? You know what I mean? So they're cognitive, like, we got to do this.
Well, again, 978-276-9418. Who is your oh shit moment? Living, dead. Well, I should stick to living, because if you say Randy Macho Man Savage, you're going to make me want to cry, because when I watched those YouTube videos of when he did the Comic-Con, like, PowerPoint presentation, the pop he got, literally, all it was a toy, not a commercial, but it was just like a toy introduction. And you heard the, ooh, yeah! The crowd went nuts. And then he was dead like a month later. So let's keep it living, because if you say Owen Hart, I'm going to get sad, because in this day and age, if Owen Hart didn't die and he left the company, and it's the Royal Rumble, and all you can hear is, enough's enough and it's time for a change. And Owen Hart came out to the Nugget chant. Royal Rumble moment.
Yep. You get Black Macho Man, though.
Jay Lethal. Ooh, brother. So make me...
Fat Kane.
Oh, man, I love me some Fat Kane. I want some Fat Kane with some Black Macho Man against a suited Kane and
Lanny Poffo.
And a Latino Macho Man.
Sure, there's one.
Ooh, see. Can you dig it, amigo?
Wow. Yep, you just said.
Jason's the title. Yep, he just said that.
He just said that.
He just said that. I'm not racist. I'm ignorant. There's a difference.
It sounds like I need to go to Twitter and find some topics to talk about.
You know, it's a good show when Jason feels uncomfortable.
All right. I got shout outs from Michael Sears. He said he was going to do a lot, so I'll read some of the cool ones. When do you expect the whole Daniel Bryan movement to end? End? I don't know. I don't want it to end.
No, to be honest with you, I didn't even think it was going to begin.
Yeah.
I don't think Daniel Bryan anticipated it was going to begin. So when it should end, if it ends, it should be organically and not forced by the hand that feeds. Is my outlook. I think it should be more of a natural end than an indoctrinated, like, hey, we want it to end on WWE's behalf.
I'm with you. All right. I know you're not a football guy, but have you seen or heard the Richard Sherman?
Oh my god! I watched the Mean Gene video and laughed my fucking ass off.
Anyways, Michael wants to know who would you like to see him go up against in a promo in WWE?
They're not living. You know what? Ultimate Warrior.
That'd be amazing. I think The Rock would just like mop the floor with him.
Well, that's what I mean. Like his promo versus say the Warriors, I think it would be phenomenal because what the fuck am I listening to? Is the reaction I would anticipate getting.
Your favorite to win the favorite Rumble of all time?
Oh, that's a good one. I always feel really bad about these because I think people expect me to go like, be a snob and go old school, like old Boston Rumble and No Chance in Hell.
Yeah, those are up there. That's a good one. Let me see. What would I say? I really like the one with He Who Shall Not Be Named.
That actually was a good one because that WrestleMania was a good year in terms of feuds.
I'm trying to think of
again, lights went out, Taker's theme played, and then nothing happened. And then Spike Dudley came out. Kane decimated Spike Dudley. And of course, you had Hugh, who must not be named, won it at number 1.
But then you also had all these stars in motion. You know what I mean? You had Orton, you had Cena.
Well, a lot of good matches too, because I think that was the year that Bob Holly and Brock Lesnar had their championship match.
Yep.
And it was the Brock, I'm going to break your neck. Like, that was actually, I thought that was so cool that Bob Holly had a title match.
Yeah.
That wasn't a bad one at all.
Yeah. Let's see. Dumbest feud of all time. Dumbest feud.
Spirit Squad.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, that's up there.
Spirit Squad.
I tend to remember the good shit. I tried to push the bad shit out of my head.
No, I can remember the bad shit. I'm a sponge for bad shit. I love the Toxic Avenger. I don't know why that's not in like the Guinness Book of World Records for greatest movie ever made. I don't know why it didn't win 10 Oscars. I know bad shit. Worst feud though? I could say the Spirit Squad versus what was it? Yeah, it was DX.
DX, yeah.
Another bad feud, Blue Dust and Gold Dust.
That's a one-off, though. They didn't really invest time into it.
Oh my God, Undertaker and the Giant.
Yeah, that's terrible. Gonzalez was horrible.
That was bad.
I'm trying to think of who really sucks. Really sucks that they pushed in your face.
Anything Santino did.
He's not bad. He's able to perform at sometimes, though.
I will get. Actually, no, I take that back because again, Boston Rumble, and it's still saying the reason why that Rumble sticks out was because of the Rumble itself. 40 men, first and only time that ever happened. The Santino end was so good because you did not know if he was going to win it or not. I genuinely, and it's TV tracks worthy. Fuck it. I genuinely did not know if Santino was going to win that year or not.
Yeah, that was like a, what? Like, Santino's still here? And it's just like, he's got his back turned. I was up in the crowd, too, like, fucking get him! Get him!
But that's the thing. Like, if we are, we're still on tweets, but we are to sum up the show. That's the Rumble. That's what makes the Rumble so awesome.
Because you can do that shit.
Again, we knew Booker and Kevin Nash were coming back. Even if they said they weren't, the second you heard Diesel's music, you were there live. I wasn't.
It was amazing. I'm looking around, watching people and watching the entranceway, and like people are going nuts. It was awesome.
Dude, I was 24 years old in my parents' house. They paid for pay-per-view. Fuck you, I'm 26. I live with my girlfriend now. They paid for pay-per-view, and I was on my feet like, holy fuck. Like, they told me it would happen. I just didn't believe them.
Yeah. Missed that shit. I want that moment this year. I feel like last year sucked, kind of, and we're owed something really cool this year. Don't give us what we think we're getting. Giving us what we want.
If I can give the audience a very raw, Jason and I, the genesis of this show came at a really shit point for me personally, which is kind of funny because we're coming up at a year mark and it's even shittier for me personally for the same reason it was shit last year. Like I mentioned on the show, my dad had cancer last year when we started the show.
Yeah.
I was told yesterday that there's a good chance my dad's probably going to die. And for me, when you hear news like that, when you hear news of the initial, like, oh, and it happens to everybody. I'm not going to sit here and play the, oh, why me? Because it happens to everybody. And this is what's universal. You tend to invest yourself in things like wrestling or music or whatever it is your guilty pleasure is. Last year was very fitting in a really morbid way because Paul Bearer passed away. My dad had cancer. Like, it just seemed like there were a lot of different variables that could have happened at that show and just didn't. And I'm thinking the same thing this year. There are a lot of different variables. And like last year, you know, my dad, right before he had cancer, said, oh, is The Undertaker still wrestling? Oh, God, I'd love to see that guy go toe-to-toe. And when he watched the Punk Undertaker match with me, he laughed because he kind of thought of it as like, he was the old dying bastard with cancer, and I was the loudmouth piece of shit like Punk. So he thought it was funny. Now this year, Ultimate Warrior, who was the loudmouth geezer, versus whoever is going to be the, you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
So that's the cool thing with wrestling is it always comes back around. It's always circular.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first year where I'm like, is anything going to happen? You know, it's different because when you're a fan of something like that, you rely on it to get you through the shittier aspects of your own life.
Yeah.
And that's why, like, Jason was right about that girl, but I think she sounds stupid, but I can also get where she's coming from in a weird, fucked up way, even though she's stupid. Because that's wrestling. That's why we still watch.
Yeah.
So. What you got for me from Twitter, sir?
That wraps up Twitter. But I do want to thank people because we are now at 7,600 people on Twitter. Yeah, 7,611 right now. And I said this on Twitter before. If we make 10K before WrestleMania, I'm going to do another giveaway.
I think we should do a giveaway. Oh man, you used to want to do this. I was like, whatever. Jason had originally pursued this show with being kind of personal and more wrestling. So I was telling Jason, the reason, you don't know this because we're not live. I do want to do a live show though.
Yeah.
I think that'd be awesome.
Yeah, right. Me and you have talked about it, and I definitely want to pursue that.
Typically, Jason and I record the show around 9:30 every Thursday night.
Mm-hmm.
It's 11:01. We started recording at around 10. That was because I was at my parents' house. My dad's at work, despite the fact that he's probably dying. My mother had mentioned, you know, the medical bills of, like, if he has cancer again, maybe doing a fundraiser.
Definitely.
Because my parents cannot afford these bills. Especially if he's dying. That's kind of insult to injury. And the first thought I had was arts on commentary. Why? Because when I did the Suicide Walker, incidentally, I met my girlfriend. Mm-hmm. So we graduated together. We got a $45 donation from a really cool guy who's really suffering, and I hope he still listens to the show, and I hope I haven't let him down through the Catherine debacle and the Indies and whatever. Really cool guy, really liked the show, really thinks we're funny and whatever. If I decide to organize a donation benefit for my father, and it sounds so narcissistic, like, who gives a shit? It's another dude with cancer or whatever. I would actually make it worth people's while. And it's just a thought. It's not that it's going to happen tomorrow, but my dad has this thing. He might die, or he might not, but he might have this thing where he has to go back into surgery. My family cannot afford this. If we've been doing the show long enough to actually get genuine fans, I would love to say, hey, if you can help my poor mother afford these bills, we will do something for you. And it's not like the Survivor Series thing where I kind of figured the whole what's in the box and whatever. I knew that was going to pan out. This, I will actually make it worth your while. I don't know how right now. I don't really know the details of my father's condition, but I would definitely make it worth people's while. So that's where I'm at. That's my personal Marks and Commentary moment.
Jim Kirkness, if I'm pronouncing that right, is the gentleman who donated.
I feel bad because it's not that I don't remember him. It's just that, you know, you do, and I've said to Jason before, and not to have that, like, vulnerable podcaster moment, you do something like this and you don't expect anyone to give a shit. You don't. And for me, that happened when he donated $45 and said, I'm a fan of Marks and Commentary. I suffer from this. That was like a fuck with your head moment because it's like me. Jason knows because he's my Facebook friend. I post shit all the time that I probably shouldn't post. I'm doing it just because I feel like getting it off my chest. But then people respond and you're like, what the fuck? Like, I just posted that just for me. Oh shit, there's like 400 other people that can read this. This show was really just for Jason and I to just talk and to just be goofballs and to be marks. The fact that anyone listens or follows the Twitter account or gets in fights with Jason is hysterical to me. Like, Jason will tell me, and he'll get really upset. Like, someone got in a fight with me. I laugh, and I feel so bad at Jason's expense. I'm not laughing at Jason. I'm laughing at the fact that that's 2014. You have an opinion, but so does someone else. And you know what? They're just as accessible as the fucking keyboard at your fingertips.
Yeah.
So, I, again, like Jason, hell yeah. Like, I genuinely like doing the show when it's not under an obligation to be a show. When it's just two guys talking about wrestling. And again, I gave a lot of predictions. And people like could go on Twitter and be like, fuck Eddie. Like, his predictions suck. Do it. That's the whole point. I won't take it personally. Like, unless you insult my girlfriend or you can insult me. You don't know what I look like. But if you're wondering, I got an overbite, crooked feet, and I'm 130. I look like Screech with AIDS. Take your wild shots, ladies and gentlemen. But I mean, other than that, it's cool. If you think Swagger deserves another contendership shot, go for it.
We'll debate. We'll talk. We'll give you our opinions. You're welcome to give us yours.
Yeah, 978-276-9418. That is the voicemail at MO Commentary on Twitter, Marks and Commentary on Facebook, marksandcommentary.podomatic.com, marksandcommentary.blog.com, I think is the blog where
you can go through marksandcommentary.com and find every connection and every social media site that we're connected to.
Otherwise, what I'm expecting is I got a contest for you. I got a really good contest. Paint your face, get some tassels. If you can give me your version of a good Warrior acceptance speech. No, dead serious. This is a good contest.
That's awesome.
I just saw this on the whim. If you can give me in Warrior's character, I'm talking. Yeah, you have to commit to face paint and the way he delivers promos. If you can give me a good Warrior acceptance speech, I will give you something good. I will go to Walmart and I'll give you the finest Walmart can buy. I think 978-276-9418 at MO Commentary. If you can give me a good Warrior acceptance speech, you have Eddie's guarantee. Ask that person who I already forgot, who I give the Attitude DVD to. I deliver. So, that's where I'm at right now. So, again, I'm Eddie Broken.
I'm Jason Smith.
This has been Mark on Commentary.
Never hangs around.
We interrupt this program to bring you a special report.
Hey, wrestling fans and freaks alike. I am the Information Highway's last living outlaw. My name is the Masked Tweeter. I hail from parts unknown. I am here today to deliver to you breaking news that's going to put you in a headlock. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Stop the presses. Get the president on the horn. This is a big one, folks. I am joining forces with Andy's Army.
Andy's Army.
To get Andy Kaufman the 2014 WWE Hall of Fame Induction Award. Think about it. You, me, the rest of Andy's Army. Together we can collaborate and make this happen, folks. I don't have to tell you, how cool would it be to play a small part in getting the legendary comedian Andy Kaufman inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame Class of 2014. Wherever you visit online, I want you to hashtag AK4WWEHOF 2014. Let me say it again. Hashtag AK4WWEHOF 2014. Wherever you go, Facebook, Twitter, I want you to hashtag it. I want you to tell your friends. I want you to tell your family. I want you to stop people on the street, people you don't even know. And I want you to say, hey, let's put Andy Kaufman in the WWE Hall of Fame Class of 2014. I know you can do it. Remember, hashtag AK4WWEHOF 2014. And don't forget to visit me on Twitter at MaskTweeterX.